What is the best way to win a battle? With superior numbers, right? Wrong. What if I told you there was a man who built an empire by turning fear itself into a weapon? A man who inspired such terror his name became synonymous with brutality. A man so ruthless he'd make Hannibal Lecter seem like a pansy. His name was Genghis Khan, and he was a military genius. The Mongol Empire under his rule was like nothing the world had ever seen. It was a horde of terrifying horsemen who brought not just swords and shields, but an arsenal of psychological tactics that made their enemies crumble before they even unsheathed their blades. So how did Genghis Khan build his empire of fear? Let's get into it. In 12th century Mongolia, life was all about being prepared for anything. And Temujin, who later became known as Genghis Khan, learned this lesson well. You see, Temujin's father was poisoned at a family meeting when Temujin was just a teenager. Talk about a hostile takeover. This event marked a turning point in young Temujin's life. He went from being a carefree boy to becoming a fierce young warrior. In a flash, he found himself leading his family and tribe through a landscape that was more dangerous than any jungle or battlefield. During these years, Temujin's leadership skills were tested as he and his followers faced constant threats of attack from neighboring tribes. To defend his people, Temujin formed alliances with other clans. One notable ally was a woman named Borte, whom he married in a strategic move that united two powerful factions. Shortly after his marriage, tragedy struck again when Borte was captured by rival raiders. Temujin wasn't going to take this lying down. He assembled a team of elite fighters and set out to rescue her. And guess what? They pulled off a successful raid, taking back not just Borte, but also some loot and prisoners of their own. By 1190, Temujin's reputation as a fearless leader was growing, and so was his following. By some sources, it's said that during this time, Genghis Khan's group grew to around 1,000 warriors. That's quite the squad. But let's talk about something else that happened around this time. Genghis Khan wasn't just a warrior, he was a visionary. He saw that his people, the Mongols, were on the brink of greatness. They had the potential to become a powerhouse, but they needed a system, a way to organize themselves and their conquests. And that's where the book came in. You see, Genghis Khan wanted to inspire his people. He wanted them to know their roots, to understand where they came from and what they were capable of. So he penned stories of his ancestors, tales of courage, loyalty, and strength that would resonate with his fellow Mongols. It wasn't just about the stories, though. It was about creating a sense of unity, a shared identity that would bind the Mongols together as they embarked on their journey to conquer the world. Fast forward to the year 1206, and guess what happened? The Mongols officially came together as one tribe under Genghis Khan's banner. This wasn't just a casual get-together. It was a full-blown tribal assembly known as the Kurultai. At this historic event, he was given the title Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. Under his rule, the Mongols would go on to conquer vast territories stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. And you can bet that Genghis Khan's knack for storytelling played a part in this success. You see, he knew how to rally his troops, how to inspire them to fight and conquer, and he did it through the power of stories. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story, but what about his military strategies? How did those work? Well, let me tell you, Genghis Khan wasn't just a storyteller. He was a military genius. He was the original master of psychological warfare. One of his most famous tactics was the feigned retreat. Picture this. His army would pretend to retreat from battle, luring their enemies into a false sense of victory. Out of nowhere, they'd turn and hit back hard, totally catching their foes off guard. Genghis Khan really knew how to play mind games. But that's not all. Genghis Khan was also a master of siege warfare. He understood the importance of planning ahead, and he wasn't afraid to use unconventional tactics to break through enemy defenses. For instance, he once ordered his troops to dig tunnels under the walls of a city until they reached the underground water supply. Then they diverted the water flow, causing the city to flood and fall into chaos. Talk about a brilliant strategy. Now let's talk about something a little more sinister. Genghis Khan wasn't above using dirty tactics to gain the upper hand. The Khan's forces perfected the ultimate siege breaker, biological terror. They didn't just throw rocks. They catapulted the bodies of their plague-infected dead over city walls, turning disease itself into a weapon. That single horrific act is believed to have helped launch the Black Death into Europe. Let's not forget his use of terror and intimidation. Genghis Khan built his reputation on fear. He was known for his ruthlessness and his willingness to use extreme measures to achieve his goals. For instance, he once ordered the execution of all the male inhabitants of a city, sparing only the women and children. That's why it's important to learn about Genghis Khan, because his methods, while brutal, were highly effective. He was a skilled strategist and tactician who was able to conquer vast territories and build a massive empire. His legacy continues to fascinate historians and military experts alike. So next time you hear the name Genghis Khan, remember he was more than just a ruthless conqueror. What a master storyteller and sharp military strategist he was. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Legion Chronicles History.